Hello, Fruitport High School chemistry students again. If you're going in order, you've just watched the video that talks about why does the 7 Up float, but the Coca-Cola sink. And if hopefully I'll read your predictions there. And if you're like students in the past, there's been two answers. Someone brings something about it being diet versus regular, and other people bring up the fact that one's white and one of them is a dark, right, the brown color, and that's something about caffeine, right, with that. And so here is a little extra source of data. Here is root beer. Now, this is regular root beer. It is not diet. And if you don't know this, root beer doesn't have caffeine like most of the dark colored sodas. So will this one sink or will this one float when we put it in water? Well, if you think it has to do with diet and regular, then this one should sink like the regular Coke. If you think it has to do with caffeine or not, then it might float. And let me put this in front of the 7-Up. And when we drop it in, you'll see that the root beer sinks. And it's because regular Coke and regular root beer and stuff has extra sugar in it, which makes it more dense. So we have to remember that water has a density of 1, that's 1 gram per milliliter, and things that float have a density less than 1. Things that sink have a density greater than 1.0. And so Diet 7-Up has a density that is less than 1 because there's no sugar. There's some sweeteners, but no sugar. And it's the sugar that's dissolved that really changes the density. So you can play this game at home if you want to. Will it sink or will it float, right? You can try different things. So let's try an easy one. Here's a penny. You got a penny, and you should know from a wishing well that if a penny we throw in here, we drop it in, it sank to the bottom. And pennies are made of copper and zinc, which have a density around 8 grams per milliliter. How about this one? We got a rubber stopper. What do you think? Take a guess. Would a rubber stopper sink or float in water? And let's try it. And you can see that it sank to the bottom. It's more dense. How about a plastic spoon? Would a plastic spoon sink or would it float? Well, we'll drop it in there, and looks like it's slowly sinking down. Yes. Here's a bean. This is called a black-eyed pea bean. Do you think a bean would sink or float? And I throw it in there, and, well, that one's falling too. That one sinks also. How about a piece of chalk? Chalk's pretty light. Is it light enough to float? Well, we shouldn't be asking if it's light or heavy. We should be asking if it's more dense or less dense. So we put the chalk in, and the chalk floats here at the top. And so this must be the only substance that we tested that is less dense than water. All the other ones are more dense than water. All right, apply this to our homework, and that's due next week. And apply this to or maybe the homework's due tomorrow, depending which day you're watching this video. And then we have a quiz next week, don't forget to. All right, cheers.